welcome and thank you for joining our Music for Global Change broadcast with founder and music ambassador Skyler Jett and presenter Tom Bryant and Ryan Shewchuk. And our special guest today is Michael Bass.
Well, welcome to the show, Michael Bass. You were born in Oakland, California, trained at Berlin Institute of Technology and also Don Martin's School of Broadcasting in LA. You started on your professional career with your own disc jockey business at the age of 14. Joining the US Army, on your release from the Army, you worked in the family business. And after having a variety of jobs, you joined the Airwave record label, starting 30 plus years in the entertainment business. 2005, you were given the task or responsibility of the humanitarian infrastructure project in Ghana, which is something we can get into and talk a little bit more about with you in a moment. But welcome to the show, and please tell us more.
Well, I'd like to, first of all, thank you, Tom, along with my wonderful cousins, Skyler, and also Ryan, for inviting me to the show, so that I'd have an opportunity to get to know the two of you that I didn't know. It's a long span career that started way back when myself and Skyler were about 10 years old each.
Okay.
Our birthdays are 2 months apart, and we're the exact same age. So when we were about 10 years old, we used to walk through the streets of Oakland around Lake Merritt, which is 3.5 miles. And we would talk about what we wanted to do to help humanity later on in our lives. Now, keep in mind, we had zero money. Mm-hmm. We didn't know what we were going to be doing the following day, or if we were going to be able to get the new Converse tennis shoes that came out. But we were walking and talking and trying to figure out, how do we help people? And from there, it took me on the journey. And believe me when I tell you, gentlemen, and Skyler can confirm this, I had no idea the journey was going to end up in Ghana.
That's right.
I thought it was going to take me, to somewhere in the United States. Sure. I'd be helping people in the US. Mm. And the next thing I knew, at the close of my entertainment, I was working for E40 and his family. And at the time that I was working with E40, and we were doing all kinds of shows, and I got an opportunity to do a movie with his brother, D-Shot, called Obstacles. We were doing a whole lot of good things in the Bay Area, but I stopped and thought to myself, I'm doing a whole lot to help these guys over here, but what about people in other places around the world?
Right. Yeah.
And I happen to have a gentleman, a good friend of mine. He opened a record label in Oakland, and his record label was very successful starting out because he retired from Pacific Bell, and when he retired, they gave him $600,000 as a retirement package.
Okay.
So he took that $600,000 and opened a record label.
Okay.
And his office was on 14th and Broadway, and everybody, knew him. And I happened to be the manager for his brother's singing group. And the problem that he had was he had a big heart. So he started signing artists and, here's $20,000 just to sign with me. Here's, right. And when you hand out $20,000 at a time, $600,000 doesn't take that long to go through.
No, it's good. Yeah.
But the one thing that he did, which to his credit and me knowing him, was he hosted an African summit at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in downtown Oakland. And he had all the seminars and conferences. He actually put up the money to fly the delegates from every country on the continent of Africa to Oakland, California.
Wow.
So from doing that, he had all these contacts on the continent of Africa with these delegates. And he came to me and he said, Mike, you know, there's this project in Ghana. And I said, well, that's great, but I live in Oakland. He said, but these people need help. And I said, well, I'm one of them. And he said, no, Mike, listen, you got to pay attention to this. He said, I've got a lady in Ghana. She's been traveling back and forth 18 years. She's from Oakland. And I want you to have a conversation with her so that she can introduce you to what's taking place in Ghana. And I talked to this lady on the phone. She was in Ghana at the time. And she started sending me all these photos of the children in Ghana and everything that the children were suffering through and the way that the country looked, photos of the country. She started sending me all these things, and something clicked inside of me and said, you know what, you can't pull out your credit card, one of your many credit cards that I had at the time. I thought, well, they need some help over there. I'll just pull out a credit card and charge $100, and that should help out some people.
Right.
But that was not what the journey was about. The journey was that I had to come here in order to be with the people, to help the people.
That's right.
I'll tell you this quick story. When I spoke to my cousin, he was in Maui, Hawaii. He was over there laying on the beach,
Whoa.
drinking pina coladas.
Mai Tais.
Mai Tais. He was living it up. And I called him in Maui and I said, cuz, I have the opportunity to go to Ghana and I need your advice because you've been to 33 countries with the Commodores. I started telling him all the things that he had done.
Yeah.
And he said, cuz, I only got one bit of advice for you, and you take this the way that you want to take it. And I said, no problem. And he asked me the question, are you still working with E40 and the clique? And I said, yes, I am. And he said, well, you need to make a decision on if you want to be local or you want to be international.
Hey.
And that will make your decision of if you want to get on a plane and go all the way halfway across the world to Ghana.
Yeah.
And sure enough, him saying that to me is what made me put my feet on the plane at San Francisco Airport and end up in Ghana. And I've been here now going on my 13th year.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the most beautiful thing is that that's been like 26 years ago when I was in Maui, living over there for 10 years. And back then they had them little phone cards. and I'd be talking to you, go, Skyler, I got to run across the street and get a phone card. You know what I mean? It was insane. And we look at where we at right now, and the trippy thing is, I mean, we're about to do some amazing stuff for the world. Two brothers from Oakland, single parent kids, right? Didn't graduate from college, and we're about to do some amazing things. So you know what I mean? It's where your heart is at. You know what I mean? So Ryan, you got a question?
Yeah. So Mike, you've known my dad for 50 plus years. I've known my dad for 6 months. I'd love to know some more about my dad. I mean, when you talk about you guys growing up as kids, I mean, how did it come to where you had these humanitarian sort of ideas? I mean, when I was 10, I just wanted to play Nintendo. So it's like, was it a product of your upbringing? Was it a product of your environment? Like, what made you want to go, when I become an adult, I want to help people? Like, where did that come from?
Ryan, let me say this. When you don't have a lot,
yeah,
and you want to, number one, you'd like to see yourself and your family have a lot.
sure.
But then when you think outside of that, you think to yourself, what about all the other people that don't have anything?
Mhm.
That's right.
And that is what took us to the point where we said, we have to do something to try to help people in other parts of the world, which explains why we're both from Oakland and Skyler lives in London and I live in Ghana.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what it explains. So, you know, I had to go back to my cousin mentioning me calling him with the little $5 calling cards. I would tell you, gentlemen, that for 4 years before I put my feet on the ground in Ghana, I called the country every night at 1 o'clock in the morning, which was 9 o'clock here. And I went through, in 4 years, I went through $90,000 in calling cards.
Damn.
Calling Ghana every night.
Yeah, trying to help.
Yes, I was being introduced to the people who I needed to be around when I came on ground. I was meeting different people like an archbishop from Florida who met me here when I arrived in Ghana. Just all these good people that I talked to for 4 years. And when I landed at the airport, you know, there's a huge group of people and they're putting these welcome to Ghana sashes around my neck. They're taking photos. There's just kids. And it was amazing when I came. And I said to myself, you know, this is real true. This is like how people are supposed to love each other. That's what this feels like. And when I came to Ghana, and I was so used to waking up in the morning and turning the TV on, and there was 15 homicides in Richmond and Oakland.
Right.
Yeah.
the night before. And when I came to Ghana and I checked into my hotel, and I said to myself the next morning, let me turn on the news and see what's going on in Ghana. And I turned on the news and I was listening to the news and I was thinking, they didn't say nothing about a homicide. Nope. Nobody got shot yesterday.
Right.
And that's what made me realize this was the country that I really wanted to be in.
And help. Yeah.
Yes.
Tom, you got a question?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously the projects that you're running there, you help in loads of different ways and kind of different aspects. How do you actually generate funds? Is it something you can get funding for from government funding, or how do you generate the funds that you need to do more things?
Well, let me take that question, Tom, and tell you that the one thing that you don't want to do in countries in Africa is look to the government for anything.
Okay.
How about that?
When I came into Ghana, I happened to have a gentleman who connected me to ITI UNESCO, which is a partner to UNESCO themselves. And they have grant funds for countries on the continent of Africa. And these are the funds that I came to Ghana with. Now, please keep in mind that I've been here over 12 years and I'm still trying to give them the free money.
Damn. It's hard to give free money away.
But the great thing is that I actually been through 3 governments here. One president passed away. I had a meeting to see him and he passed away. Then another president took over his vice. Then I went to see him. Then I went to see the current president. I've been to all these people's homes and nobody wants the free money because they're used to taking so much of a percentage of the money out of the money.
How about that?
And when I told them, you don't listen, I don't care if you wait 100 years, you won't take $1 out of this money that's meant for the people of the country.
There you go.
So they told me, something's wrong with you. You're abnormal. But to this day, I've not changed my stance. I've not bent over. I've not cut any backdoor deals. I've not done any of that. So even though a lot of them in the administration don't care for me, they have to respect me, and they have not put me out of the country saying that I represent something that's fraudulent. That's not for real.
That's right.
They know that what I represent is for real. They're just trying to figure out a way to get the money and have me help them get the money so they can take money out of the money.
But that ain't gonna happen.
That can never happen. That can never happen, Tom.
They got a better chance of giving birth to a buffalo.
Exactly. So that's one source of funding, and then I ended up with another source of funding, which is a whole nother story. That's a whole show by itself. But I'm working along with both sources. I've actually made it to the position where the largest organized crime organization in Ghana has taken on the task of investigating the funds from ITI UNESCO. So they're in the middle of their investigation, and they've made the decision that they're going to verify these funds, and then they're going to contact the president of the country, and they're going to tell him, either you're going to conduct a protocol to bring the money in the country, or we're going to have to find out why you won't do it.
How about that? And this is going on a bunch of countries, but only thing is, like I said, with all the minerals that Africa has, this shouldn't be the problem whatsoever. You have everybody coming in from different countries, taking the minerals out of there. And then these people walking around, some of them, impoverished. That's the thing that you're going to be able to change around. And I'm like I said, we always said they're gonna name statues after you, and that once you leave, going to all those countries and bringing money. Now, we just had the ambassador on the show, and I asked her would she like to meet you so you can bring some projects to South Africa, and she was like, "I'm down. I would really love to meet you."
Well, I've done research from what you sent me on Her Excellency, and I'm truly looking forward to meeting her so that we can work along with South Africa and bring the funds in. This is a scenario where there's funding on behalf of the entire continent of Africa.
Yeah.
So there's enough funding involved to go from country to country on the continent. And the problem that people have in these countries is they look at me and they say, wait a minute, how does a guy from Oakland, California come all the way to our country,
right? And
you have these documents saying that you represent this money from ITI UNESCO. How did you get your hands on these documents? And there's only one way to get the documents, and that's from the mandate to ITI UNESCO. That's what they've been trying to figure out all these years. But I have to ask the question to everybody. Is it important how I got the documents, or is it important for you to get the money to help your country? Which one? Which one is more important? Let's weigh them out and find out. But, if they don't see a way where when the money hits their central bank and they know it's going from the central bank into our account because of the fact that the UN is involved in the transfer of the funds, if they can't see a way where they're going to be able to trade in their Bentley that they're driving right now and get the new model Bentley, they don't want to be involved in the money, bring in the money.
Well, but you found a way to circumvent that. You know what I mean? Yes. And that's the best part.
Yeah, I found a way to circumvent it, but it only took me almost 13 years.
Damn. Well, that's the struggle, man.
Assistance.
But it's about to go down. Like I said, I'm excited to introduce you to the ambassador. I told these gentlemen right here that you were a major supporter of Music for Global Change. You was there before anybody was, along with my wife. And the things that we're about to do, and because I had said to her, like Hugh Michaela and there's a bunch of stars from South Africa. And she says, well, music can really change everything. Music is really important to our society. She was saying that, right? And so the cool thing about it, I said to her, we'd like to come to South Africa to do workshops and festivals, right? To teach young people about positive lyrical content. And love to get your feelings on that too.
Right. Well, because as yourself, music runs through my veins like the blood that runs through my veins. And I come from where you come from, when singers actually wrote good music.
Yeah.
I was watching a show last night, which is a show that I had not seen, a documentary on Janet. And I realized that when you look at Janet's music and you look at Rhythm Nation, Janet was writing social conscious music on the Rhythm Nation album. I to see that type of documentary and to know that my cousin is out here and he's trying to let people know that, you know what, you don't have to write about who you went to bed with yesterday. You can actually write positive lyrics and you can put them to the same beat that you put in the music about who you slept with yesterday. You can use the same music.
That's
period.
Right. That's right.
But it's all about lyrical content. That is why I'm such a supporter behind Music for Global Change. I'm a big supporter because this is family. And I remember when Sky came to me and said, cuz I got this idea where I'm gonna do a platform for social conscious music. And most people would have said to him, that ain't nowhere in the world that's gonna work. But
too hard. That's too hard.
When he said it to me, the only thing I said to him was, well, if anybody could pull it off, it's you.
Oh.
Well, it took more years, just as many years as I've been working on this project. He worked towards it. But I think now he's 57 broadcasts in, I would imagine. And it was only an idea and a concept. And here we are. Here we are. It's so wonderful because 26 years ago, him and I discussed this. And today I have the opportunity to be on his broadcast along with you gentlemen. And I have the opportunity to tell people that this is what we're doing on the continent and give them the opportunity to go to our website and see what it is that we're looking to accomplish on the continent. I was
going to ask that, Mike. What are some of the approved projects that you are, the money and the protocols aside, like what projects are you specifically focused on there?
We, Ryan, are specifically focused on, we've got $24.8 billion worth of projects in Ghana alone. So we're focused on everything from affordable housing to clinics to hospitals. As a matter of fact, one of our projects is connected to the largest king in the country of Ghana, the Ashanti king, and we're doing his medical teaching hospital in Kumasi here.
Okay.
So we're involved in all regions in the country. We're involved in all projects in the country, and it's all about how to change. I like to say it like this. Maybe this will clear it up. I've told several contractors here in Ghana since I've been here, and they told me, listen, man, don't tell us that we're not building up Ghana. Go down by this hotel and look across the street, and you'll see some brand new apartments there that we, as an Italian construction company, we built the apartments. And I said to them, but how many of those people across the road from your apartments that are Ghanaians, how many of them selling pure water all day, trying to feed their family, how many of them can afford your $2,500 a month apartments?
How about that?
So don't tell me you're helping to build the country, because there's only one way to build the country, and that's you have to build the people up first.
Yeah, you got to help the people.
Then you allow the people to help you build up their country. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So that's our focus.
And the beautiful thing is you're about to put Ghanaians to work. You know, the dignity of having those houses that we want to build are affordable, and the dignity that they get from that is just is going to be amazing for, you know, for the ages, its lifetime. You know, Tom, you got another question?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the way in which you've done this in Ghana, is it something you've thought of that could be expanded out to other countries in Africa? Is that another plan, or is that something that, you know, you'll leave to other countries to do? Or have you got thoughts that once you've accomplished X, Y, and Z in Ghana, you can think that this can move on to somewhere else? What are your thoughts on that?
Tom, we are an organization. We're registered in Togo, the country next door to Ghana. We're registered in Kenya. We're registered in Zambia. We've got inroads into at least 13 other countries that are in our actual plan to fund these countries at $25 billion a country times 16 countries to start.
400 billion.
400 billion, exactly.
Right.
So we've already taken that step to, you know, I spent 17 days in Zambia during the election of President Lunga. We introduced the project there, all the registrations done, everything is prepared for me to return to the country with the funding and execute everything in the country.
Benin as well.
Yeah, Benin, a lot. Sierra Leone, I could go down the list, but it's all on the website. When you go to the website, you'll see those countries listed on the website.
Hey, and we're on the website too.
Yeah, Music for Global Change is on the website as well.
What is the website, Mike? Can people go? Can they contact you if they want to volunteer or donate or sponsor?
Yes, they can. Let me give the website address in all small letters. It's HPGH Global Foundation.com. You know, when you go there, you'll read all the information that you need to read about what it is that we're working on. And we welcome anyone who would say, let's join forces with we have two organizations, HPGH Global Foundation, and we have Humanitarian Project Ghana. So I have both organizations in the countries and the other countries as well, moving forward. And we're just interested in doing good. There's so many people that you meet here in Ghana and other countries, and these people they'll walk through the streets of the country and they don't have a pair of shoes on their feet, but they have a smile on their face to greet you.
Wow.
And that's what got me was, you know, I come from a place where people have everything, but they look mean all day long. Nobody says hello to anybody.
Yeah.
And then I come here and these people are walking through the streets with bowls on their heads. They're selling goods to the cars along the road, but they smile at you when they come up to your car to sell you something.
Oh, wow.
As far as being touched, that touched me. And Skyler has had the opportunity to see it. He came here. He stayed with me in Ghana. He went down the roads and he saw exactly what it is that I'm speaking of right now.
And the thing about it is I'm excited about what's about to happen to them, because we're about to cause jobs everywhere. And that's going to be the most beautiful thing, to see them going from holding bowls on their head to actually having a job. You know what I mean? And we got affordable housing for them where they can have dignity, their own homes. And also we're going to do some workshops and stuff like that around music, because there's a lot of people don't know, there's a lot of talented people all over Africa. But there's no outlet for them, right? Or platforms. So that's another thing we can bridge together is building some record labels and festivals and radio stations and TV shows around positive music. And I'm so glad that you're going to help us out with that. because I'm over the moon for that. I love you for that. Thank you, man.
I love you too, cuz you know it. You know it. And my new cousin. Love you too, brother. All right.
I love you.
So you know, the good thing about us, so you know a little bit about our organization, is in the midst of waiting on this funding to come into position, there are other organizations that we help in Ghana already. There's an organization called King James Volunteers. They are actually doing cleanup in the country. They're going to the sewers, they're cleaning the trash up. They do this every Sunday, and our foundation donates money to them so that they can give people refreshments. They can give their volunteers refreshments. We've gotten helped them to get T-shirts for the members. We do whatever we can do on the budget that we have at that present point in time.
And the beautiful thing, you'll be opening the grand opening for the offices, and we're going to employ people there and teach them how they can, all the projects, solar and roads, and I tell people all the time, they don't even have a postal service in Ghana. We should do something about that, right?
Well, let me put it to you like this. This is the first country I've ever been in where they have a ministry for everything and nothing's getting done.
Right.
So, they got a ministry for roads. They got a ministry for works and housing. They got everything you can imagine in the country. They have a ministry for it. Yeah. But the ministries are just there and they're paying the people to come to work every day.
Yeah.
So, but when you try to find out what they do in the country, it's like we weren't established to do anything.
We're supposed to look smart, right?
I don't know, Mike. I'm still here in the United States, and you're kind of saying the same things are going on here. So,
yeah.
I'll tell you, Ryan. I've been so, and I hate to put it like this, but it's the truth. I've been so disconnected from the U.S. that I forgot yesterday was Independence Day.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But every time I speak to someone, they're like, "Oh, you're telling us how expensive it is to live in Ghana, and that the prices are constantly going up in Ghana, but it's the same thing here, and it's no different." So I can
Oakland
imagine.
Isn't cheap for sure.
Listen, I pay as much rent in a third world country as I paid in Hayward. When I moved from Hayward to come to Ghana, I pay the same rent here, and I'm kind of trying to figure out how come the rent is exactly the same, but this is like a third world country. Things are supposed to be cheaper here, but everything in Ghana, from week to week, you pay more money. From week to week, and, everything goes up.
Well, the greedies is having a great time right now because they know they got all the products. What I've said about, if you want to bring an evil, greedy person down, stop buying their products, stop working for them. See how fast you get respect after that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That will do it every time. Money talks, right? So, man, cousin, I love you so much, man. Thank you for coming on our show.
I love you so much too, cuz. Love you, my new cousin Ryan. Tom, I've heard so many great things about you that I feel like meeting you. I already know you, so that that's a great thing. That's a great thing.
It's been a wonderful show. Thank you for the privilege of your time to come on and explain what Humanitarian Project Ghana is about and where it's about to go. But we got to go to Ghana, man.
Yeah.
As soon as we get the office, we got to go over, and it's an amazing country, man. Mike said, just seeing people smiling, knowing what they're going through. How do you do that? So imagine when we got some money to really help them out and teach them about ways that they can help themselves. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And so we're getting there. Love
All right.
you, man.
All right. Have a great night.
Okay. Okay.
You too. All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.